Today I want to talk about something very important that impacts so many of us in so many ways, and many of those that hurt us but actually also love us. What I want to talk about is sexuality, being gay, whether you're a man or a woman, being in a closet, in a place where you feel really alone, you dislike and hate yourself, you want to change, because the society has created these norms that we are supposed to follow. And in reality, no matter what people tell you, God, universe, Allah, whoever is the creator, created us all and loves us all. Religions were created to create some sort of order and control in the civilization, because human beings without some clear boundaries, rules, are savages. But obviously, when religions were handed over to human beings to run, they have manipulated it, twisted it to their own advantage, and as a result, we are in this society where we are conflicted between our beliefs and common sense and our feelings and emotions. I watched a film today called Fairhaven, and it really touched me, and it brought out a lot of memories and feelings and sadness. And every time I watch a film like this, or I watch any emotional drama, I break down and I cry and I suffer. And it's because many of us who are gay have had to deal with so much trauma and pain and suffering that deep down inside we have so much sadness that we carry with us. And I'm making this video to tell you that you're not alone, and there is a support structure, there are others like you, there are so many organizations that can help. No matter what anyone tells you, whether it's religion, whether it's culture, whether it's your parents, whether it's your traditions, you are not broken, you're not wrong, you're not a sinner, you're not doing anything bad. This is how nature, God, our creators, they intended us to be. If the people around you, which could be your family, your brother and sister, your friends, people at school, wherever they are, if they're saying negative things about you, it doesn't mean that you are bad or there is anything wrong with you. It just means that they don't understand, or they're afraid. Human beings are part of the animal kingdom as well. They have the herd mentality. When several people start doing something, then it becomes the norm and people start following that trend. So if you're hearing negativity, try to find people who can help you and support you, because there's so many people out there, so many organizations that are specifically created to provide support to people like you. And you may love your parents very much, and you may believe they love you very much as well, and perhaps they do in their own way. But just because someone loves you doesn't mean their actions are not going to hurt you. So you have to understand that there may be times when you have to cut the cord and be selfish and think about yourself. And I'm not saying run away from home, but if it comes to that, and if your life is really miserable and terrible, then seek help, find alternatives. Don't sit there and suffer, because you are going to carry this with you for the rest of your life. I grew up in the 80s when being gay was a new thing and it was a taboo, and my parents were extremely conservative, so it was something that was never discussed and never talked about and never mentioned. People who know me really well, my close friends, they always make this statement saying, "You're so normal and you're so balanced for someone who had a really tough upbringing and had to go through so much trauma." And I think I'm just a very good actor, and I have learned how to hide the pain. I spent a lot of my life hiding my sexuality, so I became really good at being a poker face, and now I hide the broken person inside because people don't want to see that. But what I'm trying to convey in this video is, don't let the society, your family, or anyone around you break you, because it's your life. You only get one life to live. There's no do-overs, and you don't owe anyone anything. Your parents didn't ask your permission to bring you into this world. They just did. So you don't really owe them anything. Same thing with your friends and your siblings. If they accept you, that's great. And if they don't, maybe you just need to be away from them and live your life and allow them to accept you when they're ready. But don't expect that everyone else around you is going to change. I keep giving this example to many people that it's so difficult to change the mind of 3 of our friends who perhaps disagree on a topic that we really are passionate about. So changing the minds of several people for them to accept you, they might fake it on the outside that they accept you, but in reality they may not. So again, I'm trying to be as neutral as possible in this message because I don't want to come across negative or angry, but you have to be selfish in this situation because it's your life and you don't need to suffer because of a number of people around you who have a certain belief or a certain expectation of you. The film that triggered me was about conversion therapy and a father who was old-fashioned and the struggle of his son. And it reminded me so much of my own childhood and teenage years, where it was mentioned once or twice with my family, and it was just brushed under the carpet as if it didn't exist. And it was like, it's just a phase. It's just, you'll grow out of it. And it was never talked about. But at the same time, there were so many negative things said about gay people around me constantly that psychologically I started feeling guilty for having feelings for men, because I thought all these people around me hate this person, this individual who loves another individual of the same sex. Therefore, I hated a part of me. And when you hate a thought or a concept that you possess in your being, it becomes a very painful existence. I can safely say that I really started to live my life and I felt like I was born and alive after I came out. For me, coming out wasn't easy, and I had to leave my friends and my family and everyone that I knew, move to a new place, a new city, and start a life again from scratch, build friendships, and found people who were like me. It was hard initially because you still get pulled by the emotions and the history that you have with people that you've known all your life. But you have to be strong and you have to move forward and look ahead and think about the happiness that you deserve. And the happiness can only come from you accepting yourself and surrounding yourself with people who accept you. And that's what will make you happy. It was such a relief. It felt like I was alive and I was living, actually living. Some of you watching this may not have access to things like this, but in this world of social media and internet and travel, as long as Corona allows us, there are still opportunities and chances for you to connect with other people. And just be wary. If you're young, don't allow the predators to basically take advantage of you, because there'll be crazies of all sorts everywhere, and it's a bit of a risky thing when you're young, but be smart about it and talk to people, make friends, start a new life. It's very important. Now I feel free, but I wish I felt free from the age of 12 or maybe the age of 10, because I think that I was gay from that early on. I knew I liked boys, and I went to an all-boys school, and I fell in love with one of my best friends. But because no one had ever talked about sexuality, no one had ever described or explained those feelings or that concept, I was really torn and broken inside, because I saw these films and television programs and stories, and everyone was a heterosexual couple. At least these days you see a lot of that on TV, and there is more exposure for young people. Back in my day, there was no such thing, and I didn't really know what I was feeling and why I was feeling, and those emotions were very confusing and painful rather than joyful. So I thought I should make a video and tell others that you need to set yourself free. Make the hard choices now and live your life to the full. Because I feel the first 26 years of my life, when I was in a closet, was like being in a prison. I was in a prison created by myself. And obviously the people around me, but more so myself. If I was brave and if I had the right support, perhaps, which didn't exist in those days, it's very different now. So I would have probably come out sooner and made different choices in life. And those periods of being in a closet and hiding and hating yourself come to haunt you and damage you in so many ways that you may not understand now, but in the long run it keeps bubbling up and coming back. So I hope you are well and happy and looking after yourself wherever you are, and I hope you're not suffering, and I hope you'll find someone who can give you the support, and most importantly, find someone who loves you unconditionally for the person you are, irrespective of your sexuality. Thanks for watching.